Imagine this, your business is growing fast, but you need to check if the candidates are legit. So you need to do phone reference checks. But phone reference checks slow everything down. Each one takes about 30 minutes. And with 3 checks per candidate, multiplied across placements and your whole team, you're losing hundreds of hours every quarter. It's lost placements, missed revenue, and slower delivery. Today, I'm going to show you how I built an AI ref checker that can do this job in minutes, not hours. In today's video, I'm going to do 3 things. 1, show you a live demo. 2, walk you through how I built this on the back end. And 3, break down the costs so you can see how much money you're leaving on the table. If you're new here, I'm Mike. I help small businesses globally save tens of thousands of dollars with AI. If you would like to do the same, use the booking link below to schedule a free AI consultation. However, I'm limiting spots to the first 3 people who apply, so book now. Okay, cool. Let's dive into the live demo. Okay, so this is part 1. This is the demo section, and I'm going to show you a demo of how this agent works. So first of all, this is going to be a form triggered agent, whereby the agent is actually going to be triggered through a web form that the recruiter or the TA person needs to fill out. So just to summarize, this is an AI voice ref checking agent, whereby the voice agent will call the reference to perform a reference for a specific candidate who is applying for a job, just for clarification. Now, in order to trigger this agent, we need to fill out the form, and this is the ref checker form. I will put this form in the resources section. Just click the link in the description and that will take you to the resources. You simply need to enter your email. You should be able to access that. Also, just for a reminder, if you want to book a free AI consultation with me, click on my Calendly link from my YouTube page. Spots are filling up quickly and are limited. So getting back to the form, there are instructions at the top of the form here, which read, please provide the following information and click submit. The first name is the candidate's first name. Last name is the candidate's last name. The phone number will be the phone number of the reference person that you want the agent to call. The email will be actually your email so that you can get emailed a report, or the client's email so the client can get emailed a report at the end of a call. The company will be the candidate's company name. The relationship will be the candidate's working relationship with the reference, and then there will be today's date. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and fill out this form, and I'm going to put in my phone number, my email. You won't be able to see this, company, and the relationship will be manager, and the date. So really easy. Put in the reference's name, the candidate's name, the reference's phone number, the email of yourself, the recruiter, or the client if they're getting the name of the candidate's company, current or former company, and then the relationship between the candidate and the reference. Now I'm going to click submit, and then I'm going to get a call from the agent, and this is where the rubber hits the road.
Going to conduct the quick reference check. So Mark Anderson, who worked as manager at Mark AI. Is this a good time for 4 quick questions?
Yes.
Thank you. First, could you describe areas where Mark excelled?
Motivated, top sales rep, always hit his quota.
Thank you. What are the key things that motivate Mark?
He was motivated by money and career advancement.
Got it. What are some areas where Mark could improve?
He could have been more of a team player.
Thanks. Would you rehire him? Why or why not?
Yes, absolutely. He always delivered results.
If we're all finished. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day.
Thank you. All right, so that reference was very quick. Normally references take much longer, 15, 20 minutes, sometimes up to 30 minutes. But let's go and quickly look at the tech that we use for this. I used Retell AI for the front end orchestration, for the voice AI orchestration. And there's a prompt within Retell that we added here. The first line reads, you are a concise professional reference checking agent named Jenny. Please keep answers brief, polite, and human. I will go through the details of this in the second half of the video. I just wanted to show you this. There's also a function, a custom function added to the Retell AI. And then for the backend, we are using N8N. and we can see the execution came through here. There's actually 2 workflows, and I will explain the details of these workflows in the second half of the video. But you can see the workflows both were executed properly. And then essentially what happens after that is the information is added to this Google spreadsheet. And then what happens after that is the client will, or you, the recruiter, or the person who wants the reference check conducted, will get a report. And this is a good looking report, and it has, all the information, the candidate information, the evaluation criteria, the criteria that was asked in the reference check, and then some other details at the bottom as well. So that's it. That is the reference. You can see we went from beginning to end. We filled out the form. We got the phone call. The reference was conducted by the agent. That went into a Google Sheet, and then a report was created through that. I'm going to go into some details of this agent in the second half of this video, but next, let's look at the cost savings that you can benefit or you can get from this agent. Okay, we're back. In this section, we are going to look at ROI and cost savings. This is really important if you're an agency owner or you're managing a TA team or you're a recruiter and you want to know how much money you can save using an AI voice agent for reference checking. This is just one area of the recruitment process where you can save money and actually make money. I'm going to show you how. So this is the Dynaflow.ai reference check ROI calculator, which I made. I'm going to leave this in the in the resources section. If you click on the description of my YouTube channel, you'll see there will be a link. Just click on that link and you just enter your email and you'll get access to this calculator. Again, also, if you have not done so yet, make sure you click on the calendly.com link to book your free AI consultation meeting. There's limited spots. I'm getting really busy because agencies and TA teams are learning that this stuff is insane cost savings. So on the left-hand side, of the calculator, we have some configurations. We have team revenue and reference configurations, and the money saved and the money made. So team configuration, either your agency team or your TA team is going to be 10 people. This is the defaults. Salary per team, TA or agency person is going to be $5,000 per month. The commission of the placement, I'm going to leave that at 40%. You can adjust this. This will adjust the commission upside on the right-hand side here. So you can see at 30%, the commission upside is lower. If the consultant is getting 50%, his or her commission is obviously going to be higher. And then average placement is $5,000, which is decent. And then we're going to leave these as is. And then down at the bottom, you can see the reference check per placement is 3. So we're going to do 3 references per placement. You get insane value generated. And so you can see how this would work if you need to do this at scale. If you have like a huge team or a huge project where you need to do a lot of reference checks. And so we're going to look at the numbers on the right-hand side. Time saved for this particular configuration, sorry, just getting a phone call here, is 100 hours per month, 300 hours per quarter. Salary saved, $3,000 per month. This is for your team, for your agency, or for your company team. $9,000 per quarter. Revenue opportunities, almost $17,000 a month in revenue opportunity, $50,000 per quarter. Commission upside, we just looked at that. Total value generated for your TA team or for your agency team is going to be almost $20,000 and almost $60,000 per quarter. So you guys can adjust the numbers. This is just a calculator to show you the extreme value that you can realize from implementing an AI voice agent for one area of the recruitment process for your TA or your agency. And in the next section, we're going to look at a semi-deep dive of the demo and how I built this. Okay, welcome back. This is part 3 where I do a walkthrough of my demo. So just to let you know, first of all, if you are interested in implementing a voice agent for your recruitment team or for your TA team, and you want this built for you, I can help you with that. Just click on my Calendly link. You can access that from my YouTube calendar. My YouTube. There's a link right here. You just click on that, will take you to my Calendly section. You click a time in the Calendly and then a date and then a time. You click next and then put in your name your email. You can put in a description of what you want to do, or your basic plan, and click schedule event. And then you and I can connect. It's a free AI consulting session, and we can talk about how I can build something like this for your agency or for your company. Let's jump right in. So the first thing you need to do to build this agent is go to tally.so. You're not going to be able to see the SO, but tally.so is a form building platform, and I built my form, which looks like this. If we go into edit, you can, I built this from a template actually, but you can build from scratch. I think I started from a template and then I customized it, but just going through the form very quickly, you can see it's called Ref Checker. I added a picture at the top here from my agency, Dynaflow.ai, and I added some instructions. These are all fields that you can edit and move around. This says, please provide the following information, and click submit. And then below that, I've added instructions on how the recruiter or the TA person can fill out the form. The first name is going to be obviously the candidate's first name. The last name is the candidate's last name, and so on and so forth. I won't go through the whole thing. And then there's actually some sections that you can build out for the form that are the name, phone, email, company, relationship, and date. So these are all custom fields that you can build into the form, and then a submit button. And then basically you just click save. The other thing that you need to do is you need to go into the integration section, and you need to add a webhook. And this will be a webhook specifically for this demo, will be a webhook from N8N that you will need to put into here. And I'll go into more details on that in a minute. The second part of this demo or this agent is Retell AI. I used Retell AI in my 6-part series, which was an appointment booking agent. I like Retell AI because it's a great orchestration for voice AI, where you can combine LLMs, text to speech, speech to text. It's multilingual, so you can add various languages, and you can also do custom functions and tools, which we'll get into, and build prompts very quickly and easily. So it's an orchestration platform that allows you to build an agent and then build in custom functions and tools, which will send dynamic data into your workflow. For the workflow, that's a nice segue. We are using N8N. N8N is a flexible AI workflow automation orchestration tool. I should also say at this point in the video that I am not a developer. I use low code to build voice agents. You can do so as well if you want to learn low code. You do not need to be a developer to build this stuff. The tools are amazing, and they're really getting to the point now where you can build very powerful, secure, and scalable agents using low-code tools without actually knowing or without needing to be a developer. If you are a developer, you can actually learn these low-code tools a lot more quickly. You'll learn a lot faster than I did. But anyway, we're using N8N for the backend workflow. Setting up an N8N account, I'm using the cloud version, not the hosted account version. I'm not going to show you how to set up N8N. That's beyond the scope of this video. It's quite easy to do. Just create a login, like how you would do with any login or with any new account. You create a user password, all of that stuff. I log in through my Google. We'll get back into N8N, but let's go back now into Retell AI. And again, this is just a walkthrough. I'm going to go into deep dives how I built all of this stuff in the next video. And then at the end of this series, I'm going to rebuild this entire agent from beginning to end from scratch. So back into Retell AI. So you want to also make sure that your phone number is connected to the agent, and you do that in the phone number section. And here I have connected a number that I have set up in Twilio. I use Twilio for my phone numbers, which is amazing. You need to purchase a number on Twilio. Again, doing that is beyond the scope of this specific video, but you set up a number in Twilio. You also need to go into Twilio and configure that number so that it works in Retell AI as an outbound call agent. And then once you've done that, you assign that number to the agent that we've built here. So going back into the agent itself, this one's called Ref Checker. We'll go through the prompt because you need to set up a prompt in the prompt section. A prompt is instructions that you are giving the agent in terms of what to do, how to do it, and then ideally a step-to-step step-by-step process of how to do it. And there is something called markdown and context, and the way you set up a prompt is really important, because if you do it properly, your agent will behave in a way that you want it to behave, and it will behave concisely and specifically so that you get the agent to do what it is you want it to do. You get the agent to accomplish the mission, so to speak. So in the top section, we have context and variables. You may receive dynamic variables: first, last, name, relationship, and company. These variables, this dynamic data, is coming in through N8N in the first workflow. And that information, again, is coming in from the web form that the user has filled out. So in terms of flow, I'll probably build a flow chart for the next video, but the form is filled out, okay? And so this information is captured down here. It goes into the first N8N workflow, which we'll do a walkthrough in a minute. And then that information from here gets sent into the Retell AI agent. And then so you're telling the agent this information is going to come in as dynamic data. And with that information, you use it to conduct a reference check. Start with a quick intro and confirm you're speaking with the intended reference, the person that the agent is calling to conduct. Once all that is hunky-dory, the agent will go into the reference check, the flow. And the first question is, could you describe the candidate's strengths? Question 2 is motivation. Question 3 is improvements. And question 4 is, would you work with the candidate again? Yes or no, and why? And then that information is collected by the agent and submitted to a function tool, which I'll show you in a minute, as this dynamic data here. And then at the end, we've got some call handling, some end call, and some rules. So it says at the end of the prompt, do not print JSON in the conversation. Call the tool once, and then the description of the tool or the function is used to submit structured reference check answers at the end of the call. Now, there is an API endpoint post that you need to add into this tool. This comes from, I believe it comes from this endpoint here. Make sure you're in the production URL where it says reference-intake. So you need to set up an N8N workflow and add the URL from this webhook post here. This is where you add it in the API endpoint post section of the function tool call. Love these long wordy expressions. Timeout, leave it as is. These are all defaults. Just leave as is. And at the end, you're going to add in some JSON. You can screenshot this if you like. This is the JSON that we will add. And again, I'm not a developer. I use ChatGPT 5 to create this JSON. And then the JSON is going to send all the data collected by the agent as what we call a payload into the second workflow of N8N, which is this workflow here, which we call ref checker retail 2. And we'll go through that in a minute. Okay, so let's go now now that that's all sort of explained, let's go into the first N8N workflow. The first node is a webhook, okay? So once you create the form using tally.so, and that's all set up, I went into N8N and I set up this webhook. It's the production URL. And again, that gets put into that's here in the Retell AI API endpoint post section. Okay, so again, the flow is form into N8N, the first section or the first flow into Retell. The Retell agent collects the reference information, and then that gets sent into the second workflow. We're going back into the first workflow. That's the first node. Just quickly actually going through the node, it's an HTTP method as a post. The path is reference-intake. This can be named anything you want. This is what I've named it. And that goes into the post URL. Authentication is none. And then the respond section is respond to webhook node. The second node is what we call manual mapping. It's a custom set mapping fields node in N8N, and it's manual mapping. And so basically what I've done is I've mapped the form into some custom manual mapping nodes. And this is all dynamic data that is coming in from the form, from the tally.so form. And then this is all dynamic data, the first, last name, phone, email, company, relationship, and date. Remember, this is all stuff that we're collecting from the form, and that's actually all you need to do for the set mapping fields, and then you'll see this comes in as dynamic data on the right hand side here. The third node that we've built in N8N is an HTTP post. The first field is post, and then the URL comes from the Retell AI API resources section. Again, that's beyond the scope of this video, but this is the URL that you need to put in. Again, this comes from the Retell AI API integration resources section. Retell AI has a really robust API section, and we're calling that URL in this section here. And then the API ref will send that information back into the Retell AI agent. It will send the information we've collected from the form. Going down here, you want to set headers, and using fields below, content-type, that's the name, the value is application/JSON. And then going down, you want to set body content type JSON, because we're going to send JSON back, or we're going to send the information back as a JSON payload structure. Specify body using fields below, from number, value, and then we've got toNumber. This is going to be the number that the agent needs to call, and then the agent ID, and then the metadata is going to be this JSON, and then finally there's going to be a name, which we've named this, and then that's going to be more JSON. And again, I built all the JSON using ChatGPT. And then finally, we have a respond to webhook node, which looks like this. This is simply just respond to JSON, and then we've added some dynamic data in the respond body here. All right, now the second N8N node is going to webhook, and this webhook is going to be the webhook that you send to, okay, so you can see that this is going to be the webhook that you put into the, let me just make sure. Yeah, so this webhook is the one that you put in the API endpoint post here. And then it's an HTTP post. This is the name, the path, authentication none, and then respond using webhook. The second webhook is simply a respond to webhook. I put that in as the second node so the agent responds quickly to the reference. The third node is some code that I developed using ChatGPT 5, which is going to organize the data so we can put it into Google Sheets. And then after that, we can run a report, which will look like that. This is the report that came in for the user. So that's it. This went a little longer than I wanted it to, and I know that was kind of a quick run through. If any of this was confusing, don't worry about it. I'm going to do deep dives in my next video, and then I'm going to build this entire agent from scratch. If you're interested in just skipping all this development stuff, and you're a busy business owner or agency owner, or you're a manager of a TA team, and you want to save thousands of dollars, and you want to generate tens of thousands of dollars for your team and your TA, just go to my Calendly, book a meeting. The slots are going fast because I have limited time, and who knows, by the time this video starts going viral, these slots, my calendar might be booked out for the next few weeks or months. Anyway, I really hope you got some value out of this. I'm going to come back again in another video soon to do a deeper dive into the agent. That's it. Peace out. Bye for now.